everyone, and welcome back to yet another episode. Today I'm reading another article because why not? This article is written from Michael J. Nollings, and it was published on the Daily Wire, which is Ben Shapiro's network, basically. For the first time in history, atheists constitute the largest religious group in America. According to the General Social Survey, the number of Americans who have no religion has increased 266% over the past 3 decades, and now account for 23.1% of the population, just barely edging out the Catholics and the Evangelists as nation's dominant faith. Mainline Protestant churches have suffered the greatest collapse, declining 62.5% since 1982. I've never really talked specifically about what religion I am on the channel, but I have attacked religion before. I don't have a problem with anyone's religion. I just have a problem when people try to push it on others and use it negatively. That's my biggest problem with it. Honestly, I don't care if you are religious, it's just I don't want you to push that on other people when they don't want it. Yeah, if you're like, if you're on a mission or whatever and you're like, I want to convert someone, say, hey, have you, heard of this before? And if they say yes and they're not interested, then move on. Don't continue to do what you're doing. As religiosity has declined, social ills have abounded. Nearly 1 in 5 Americans suffer from anxiety disorders, which now constitute the most common mental illness in the country. 1 in 6 Americans takes antidepressant drugs, a 65% surge over just 15 years. The problem is particularly acute among younger Americans. While depression diagnoses have increased 33% since 2013, that number is up to 47% among millennials and 63% among teenagers. Consequently, suicide rates among teenagers have increased by 70% since 2006. American life expectancies declined again last year, and Americans continue to drug and kill themselves at record rates. Now, this paragraph right here attacks what America's biggest problem is: mental health. It's not infrastructure, it's not politics, it's not even religiosity, it's mental health. That's his biggest problem, that's his biggest downfall, because we have never, ever really been good at mental health. We've never really attacked it the way that we should. The way that we attack mental health is stupid, because we think, if you're battling like a common cold or like cancer or something, people don't just say, hey, stop. But with depression and anxiety, they just say, hey, have you tried being happy? You can stop depression just by thinking it. And that is not a taboo thing that just a few people think. A lot of people think that way. We've attacked it like that for forever. Also, I have to point out here that if this article started from nearly 1 in 5 American adults suffer from anxiety disorders, and just went from there, and this paragraph alone, it would be a really good article, and it could continue on that basis of why we need to get better at it. But it's attacking it right now as, the way that they framed it is, religion has gone down, atheism has gone up, depression has went up. Hence, atheism equals depression. That is not... You can't do that. That is faulty science. There is no correlation, causation, effect in this at all. They're just two things that have happened. They don't connect. Social scientists have long since established the link between religiosity and life satisfaction. No, they have not. That is just a complete lie. Okay. I would like you to go on Google and just look up what makes people happy, and then read a bunch of articles written by actual scientists. Most of them don't say anything about being religious. I have to tell you 100% that, personally, for me, I know many people that aren't religious and are just fine. They're happy because they don't need religion to be happy. You don't need a God to feel fulfilled in your life. Some people do. Some people feel like it is a necessity for them. And for them, that might very well be true. But for me and for many other people, we don't need a God to feel fulfilled, to feel happy. A social psychologist, I'm not even going to try, observes people who attend religious services several times each week are nearly twice as likely as those who worship less than once a month to describe themselves as very happy. You want to throw that statistic on me? I'll throw one at you. Do you know the suicide rate in Utah among LGBT youth that attend the Mormon Church? I'm guessing you don't. Let me read it to you. 62% of Utah's LGBT youth report attempting suicide, almost all more than once. The national average varies between 30 and 40%. Utah has 62% because of the Mormon Church, because of the way that state is run. You throw suicide rates at me, you throw random studies at me, I can throw random studies at you. We can do this all day. Such psychologists simply state that the obvious. The belief that God loves you and that you will live with him in eternity offers great consolation than the views of death as a dirt nap that stiffens you into worm food. Basically, it's saying all atheists are just waiting for death. I would actually tend to disagree with you. Being religious can have perks, and obviously the people, that like, oh, God loves you, so you're never truly alone, or, once you die, there's something to look forward to. That can help people, but also, it can also waste their lives on Earth. A lot of people live for God and live by God's rules, and a lot of those rules can be something, like you're not allowed to be gay, you're not allowed to have sex outside of marriage. There are so many more rules in the Bible that are like that. Religious people are also significantly more likely to engage in happy-making behaviors, such as getting and staying married. Marriages are not the determination of happiness. Just because you are married in a long-term marriage for 20 plus years or whatever does not automatically mean you are happy, and does not automatically mean that you have done everything you can in your life to make yourself happy. That's just not the case. And also, yes, religious people probably are getting married more, but they're also getting divorced more. That is a huge thing. Marriage rates have been going down steadily because people don't really seem to care a whole lot, but religious people still cling on to that idea that you need to get married. A lot of people rush into marriage because in the Bible and in multiple religions they say you can't sleep with somebody outside of marriage, you can't be in a long-term relationship with someone outside of marriage, you can't share those things that really connect people, like having a child or something, outside of marriage, and you need to be married. So a lot of people rush into marriage in order to be able to have sex, and that creates a whole bunch of problems that lead to divorces, which is why the divorce rate is so high in religious places. The misery epidemic threatens not merely American households, but also our halls of power. The late Andrew Breitbart observed that politics is downstream of culture, and culture, in turn, is downstream of religion. What? No, it's not. Religion often follows culture. A lot of people, back in the 80s and 90s, being gay was like this huge thing where you couldn't be it. And religions just sort of happened to agree with that. But when culture started to catch up to them, they were still fighting it. That happens all the time. That is not just gay marriage, that's interracial marriage, that's slavery, that's women voting. All of those things have been used, and people have had to fight for against religions and against policies that they've helped create. That's pretty much the end of the article. I'm sorry if this video was kind of heavier or a little not as lighthearted as some of the other ones, but I feel like this whole article was just a giant, be religious because it makes you happy. It doesn't necessarily. My viewpoint on this is do what makes you happy. Don't do something that makes somebody else happy. Do something that makes you happy. If you being happy means living with a bunch of friends at a house, not necessarily being religious, in a place that you want with a bunch of friends and that makes you really happy, then do that. Anyway, thank you guys so much for watching. If you enjoyed this video, don't forget to leave a like and subscribe for more videos. I'll have a skit coming out very soon. And I'll see you all in the next episode. Goodbye!